Hiya! As a mum of a teenage girl, I know firsthand how tough it can be to watch our girls grow up in a world that's constantly telling them how they should look, how they should act, and how they should be. The pressure on body image and self-esteem today is overwhelming, and it can leave our teenagers feeling like they're not good enough. But here's the thing, we're not powerless in this. In today's video, we're diving into the pressures that society and culture has on our teenage girls that shape our daughters' self-worth. And more importantly, what we as mums can do to help. Yee-hee! If you've ever felt helpless watching your teen daughter struggle with confidence, stick with me. You're not alone in this. So as mums, we want the best for our teenage girls. It's natural. It's not rocket science, is it? We want them to be happy. We want them to be confident and feel good about themselves. But sometimes it feels like the whole world is against us, doesn't it? Everywhere they turn, there's this perfect image of what beauty is supposed to be. From TV shows to social media, even the adverts they see online. It's a lot to deal with. And it's no wonder why so many young people struggle with their self-esteem. So think about how things have changed since we were young. I say we, I'm thinking about me, but hey, when I was a teenager, we had magazines, maybe we did have some TV shows. I'm not that old. But now our teens are growing up with Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and influencers that seem to have it all sorted out and are perfect. But what we often forget is that these images are not real. They're edited, they're filtered, they're curated to give the best show only and give the best side. And when our daughters see these pictures, it's easy for them to feel like they don't measure up. The message being sent is that there is a perfect way to look, and if you don't fit that mould, you're just not good enough. So where do these pressures come from? So it's not just one thing, it's a combination of factors. So obviously media portrays a very narrow definition of what beauty looks like. And as we know, as women, we're slandered for having too much makeup on, no makeup on, being overdressed and being mutton dressed as lamb, or being underdressed and just going out in your trackies. Whatever you do, you're never gonna get that, oh, that looks lovely, just because we're women. And as I say, our culture reinforces this with certain expectations as to how boys and girls should look. As I've just said, men can get away with having their hair grey. Women can't. We're told we're old. Men are distinguished. Anyway, tangent gone down. And then, of course, there's peer pressure. Friends, schoolmates, even well-meaning family members can unintentionally add to that pressure your teenage daughter is already feeling. And as mums, it's so hard to know how to help. We can't shield our teenagers from everything, much as we try, and we shouldn't have to. But what we can do is help them develop a healthier self-image and give them the tools to navigate these pressures themselves. So to understand why these pressures are so impactful on our teenage girls, we need to look at what's going on in their brains and their bodies. So during the teenage years, as we already know, the brain is still developing, because I've talked about this many times before. The prefrontal cortex, my favourite topic, which helps with decision making and rational thinking and emotional regulation, isn't fully mature. And if you haven't heard from me before, it doesn't become fully mature into the mid-20s. Meanwhile, the limbic system, which is responsible for emotions, is in overdrive. So now can you see why we've got a wee bit of a problem here? This imbalance means our teen girls are more likely to respond emotionally to what they see and hear. So whether that's in self-destructing behaviours or that's in exploding behaviours, they respond emotionally. And then, of course, if that wasn't bad enough, you've got the hormones. Yes, those hormones, you know, those lovely little things that everybody blames for the teenage girls having issues, being the words. So during the teenage years, hormones like estrogen and testosterone are surging, which affects everything from mood to body changes, but also amplifies their emotional responses. So it's like they're having everything thrown at them at the same time. Obviously, this makes them more sensitive to how they're perceived by others. It's not just in their heads, it's literally happening in their bodies. So when they're seeing these perfect, unattainable images online, their brains and bodies are primed to feel inadequate or like they're not enough. So when they're constantly seeing these images and messages that tell them they need to look a certain way, it's not surprising it affects their self-esteem, them at their very core. Their brains are wired to seek approval and acceptance, and right now they're getting a very narrow message about what's considered acceptable. Societal pressures and cultural pressures create this constant comparison game. Teen girls equate their self-worth with how they look, and they seek social approval through those likes, those comments and those followers on social media, and it's a really tough cycle to break. But I'm here to say we can break it, and we will break it together. So let's tackle some common myths that our teen girls often believe about body image. Myth 1, there's a perfect body everyone should strive for. Everyone is different. No, there is no perfect body that fits everyone. This is what makes us unique, and we need to celebrate our uniqueness rather than try to narrow ourselves into that tiny weeny way to look just to fit in. Myth number 2, being thin or muscular means you're healthy. Health is about how you feel and how you take care of yourself and what your body can do. It's not about how it looks. Myth number 3, you need to look like celebrities or influencers to be attractive. Reality, celebrities and influencers have professional stylists, photographers, and yes, even that good old Photoshop. Real beauty is about being authentic in yourself and comfortable in your own skin. So when our teens believe these myths, they start comparing themselves to an impossible standard. And this isn't just an external issue, it affects how they feel about themselves internally. That's why it's so crucial for us to have these conversations with them. We need to help them see through these myths and recognise their own self-worth beyond what's on the outside. So what can we do as mums? So it starts with understanding what they're experiencing and why it feels so intense for them. When we approach these conversations with empathy and without judgment, it opens the door for them to share what they're going through. It's not about dismissing their feelings, but rather acknowledging them and helping them see there's more to them than just their appearance. Remember, the goal is not to fix them, but to support them. It's to help them see that their value doesn't depend on how they look, as I just said. It's about who they are, how they treat others, and what makes them unique. Celebrate those differences. We can't change the world they live in, but we can be a safe space where they feel valued for who they are at home and out and about, not just how they look. So as we continue this conversation in future videos, we'll look at practical ways we can support our teen girls in developing a healthy self-image. But for today, I just want to encourage you to start talking with your teenage daughters about these pressures. Let them know that you see what they're going through and they're not alone. Because sometimes just knowing that we understand can make all the difference. Allow them to know that you can see and hear them and validate them for what they're going through. So in the next video, we're going to dive into some practical tips for helping our teen girls build a healthier self-image and resilience against these pressures. But for now, I just want you to encourage you to keep those lines of communication open. Listen to their concerns, validate their feelings, and remind them and yourself that there is so much more to them than what they see in the mirror. So before I go, here are 3 ways to continue your journey towards a deeper understanding and connection with your daughter. Number 1, join the waitlist for the new Mum to Mum Connection, which is an online coaching community where you can be with other mums safe in the space to vent, offload, let rip and connect and learn together. Be the first to know when it opens by joining the waitlist. The link is below. Number 2 is for your teen girls aged 12 to 16. There are face-to-face groups running locally to me. So that's one in Keswick at the Lakeland Wellbeing Centre and one in Askham at the Health Barn. It's a safe space for growth and confidence building whilst having fun and connecting with lots of friends. Learn more about how your daughter can benefit by filling out the form with the link below. And then the last one, number 3, download the Mum's Survival Kit. This resource includes the mood tracker to help you understand your daughter's emotions without having to ask her directly. And I have found it a complete game changer this end. So click the link to get your copy today. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other mums who might need some encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss next week's video when it comes out. So take care and remember, we're all in this together.